Hello and welcome to N14parts.com. I'm Terry Cron. I'm the owner of N14parts.com. My corporation is Heavy Duty Powertrain. I've been in parts for a long time, and I've worked for Cummins dealers, Detroit Diesel, International, so I'm a pretty well-rounded guy. I want to introduce you to the website. And today, I'm going to introduce you to 3618-300 Cummins engine injector wiring harness. This is strongly suggested. This is used on the Celect models, N14, prior to 12/31/1995 production. You'll know by your ECM number if you have one of these three numbers that are the Select series ECMs, because these connectors, the injector, the OEM, and the sensor harness, are specially made for those part numbers and will not interchange with the Select Plus part numbers. These part numbers are 3619-037, 3618-046, and 308-4473. It doesn't matter if they got a RX after them or not. So we're talking about the injector harness. I'll do the best I can out here. Figured I'd do them outside, and maybe you can see everything a little better. So I'll move up here a little closer. This is your injector harness plug that goes in the ECM, also called the actuating harness. So as you can see, it does come with a nice O-ring on it. Gives you an idea. It's got a few connectors along the way. The most important one here is this one right here. As you can see, that's a 3-wire connector, and you got 2 hots and a ground there. Don't quote me on this, but I believe the ground is the middle harness. But you need to check your wiring diagram, which you can obtain through us or Cummins. But this supplies the power to your ECM. A lot of trucks will have another connector that plugs in after you take this one off, and it may go out to the starter solenoid, which is a no-no. This is supposed to be unswitched power here. Cummins tells you right in your manuals, and the manufacturers decided that they would run it up to a starter solenoid on some models, and then the ECM is at the mercy of, when you're cranking the starter, they're at the mercy of the starter grounding issues from the starter to the frame or starter to the engine block. Any of those grounds, then it's possible you will pay the price during cranking, and your voltage will drop down below 12 volts. This should match battery voltage at all time, and that voltage travels all the way to the ECM, and then that voltage is translated back to fire the injectors, but it also fires this fuel solenoid wire. So these are married, remember, so if that fuel solenoid wire doesn't match the voltage here, that's a sure sign that something's going on here in your harness, or the fuel solenoid is starting to go bad. So you simply take this wire off the fuel solenoid. If that voltage matches this voltage, then that's a pretty good sign right there. And that would tell you that your fuel solenoid's bad. What we found in the field is if this voltage drops 10 volts or below, or gets down, it should have around 8 amps coming out of the ECM also on that note. Complaints are it drops below 10 volts or below, and that amps may drop as low as 3 amps and still have a little bit of juice, but not enough to run the ECM correctly or run your engine and fire the injectors and communicate with the sensors and do its job. On that note, a little close up here on these harnesses, especially this injector harness, N14 Select, and the newer Select Plus harness, which we'll talk about that later, they both come with brand new injector connectors. This is a plastic connector, and it's real important. These get cracked, and these connectors that are put on here, most of these are made by Delphi, and they're rubber sealed connector. I'll try to get one off here. And as you can see, they're a nice tight fit, and this is all rubber, and it stops water and oil from getting in there. And either one of them get in there, it can cause the injector to short out, the engine to miss, affects your fuel mileage, power, and worst scenario is eventually it'll cause either the injector to short out or the ECM. And along with these wires, you know, high quality wires, no brittleness like your old ones. And on that note, every product that I've seen Cummins makes improves upon the harness than it was originally. And this is no exception. High quality wires, more oil resistant, just better everything. So absolutely the right thing to do. I'm trying to get this across to everybody to get these harnesses while they're still available. For one, you know, these trucks are getting out here, you know, 10 to 20 year range. My advice is to pick up this harness, and I'd get a sensor harness, and at least you got 2 of the 3 harnesses out of the way. So again, this is part number 3618300, and have a nice day. And if you got any other questions, call me at 810